Hello, my loves, and welcome to April 2025's energy forecast. If you're new to me, hi, I'm Johanna Burkhardt. I am a multidimensional channel teacher, healer, self-help author, and my mission is to help you to be the change that you want to see so that you can create the reality that you are desiring. And we do that by teaching you how to shift your frequency, how to trust your guidance and intuition, and so much more. So if you're wanting to know more about me or how to work with me, please check the description box below. So let's dive in because I talked a tiny bit about April in the solar eclipse energy update that I did last week. But I really want to talk about this because the energy has been whoa. The energy's been a bit whoa. It's been super, super intense the last 2 weeks of March, as I predicted, as the guides had said it would be. It definitely was. I was hoping they were being a little dramatic, or we were taking it a little too seriously, but it was very, very impactful and intense. Um, and that energy is kind of lingering. It's going to kind of flow into the first 2 weeks of April. But here's the good thing is these first 2 weeks of April, we're really starting to stabilize the new earth frequencies. We're really starting to stabilize the energy. So while we still will have chaos and we will still have disruption and we will still have disclosure and we will still have this mass clearing that's going to happen all year long and into the years to come, these frequencies, these new frequencies that started to come in December are finally starting to anchor and stabilize. And that will make all of us have an easier time stabilizing. It doesn't guarantee that we will all become stable and anchored and grounded into the new frequencies. That requires you to do your part, and your part is in the letting go. It is in the changing of behaviors. It is in the changing in the way that you see things in the world and yourself. And so that integration is bringing what you know. It's bringing the energy of what you know, what's realized, and bringing it into you and creating it and changing you to become new, for lack of a better way of saying it, to become new behaviors, new ways of seeing things. And so that's a big theme for April is we are birthing a new world. And each of us that are a part of that new world are birthing a new reality for ourselves and a new identity. This word has been coming up for me for the last week over and over and over again. Actually, probably 2 weeks, identity, identity. And the fact that I'm going through an identity shift, and so many other people are going through an identity shift because so many of us are in this collective together where in December, November, December, things started to shift and change. And we've kind of gone through this chaos over those months. And a lot of us have been feeling exhausted or having random illnesses or being hospitalized or just being really sick with random things that we don't normally get or whatever, right? All helping us to purge. Because at the end of the day, the separation is the illusion. So there is no separation, right? There is no just a cold or a flu or allergies. It's always clearing something at an energetic level as well. That's just the way it is. Everything is energy. And again, just a reminder, ascension is the body moving from carbon to crystalline. And so as we purge emotionally, mentally, physically, or physically from our body, we are going through that transmutation process and we're clearing out. And so if you've been sick or exhausted, just know that the more you sleep, the more you meditate, the more you rest, the more you honor what you need, the guides are coming in, your team is coming in and helping you while you're sleeping and meditating to let go. Because at a conscious level, there's things that you probably don't want to let go of, or you don't even realize you need to let go of, or at an unconscious level even. And so they come in and they help clear that out. And those things are things that don't belong to you. And I talked about this a lot, but I feel like I need to keep talking about it. So if you feel heavy, if you feel weighed down, by something that's stressing you out, anxiety, anything that feels heavy, that feels like it's keeping you stuck, paralyzed, frozen, that energy is not yours. Because what is ours to work with and look at, it doesn't weigh anything. But if it's your parents or caregivers or your partners or your children or somebody else's programs or beliefs or perceptions or traumas, that is going to be heavy. So if that's what you're feeling and it's heavy, I want you to tell yourself every time you feel that heaviness, this isn't mine or it wouldn't be heavy. It's okay for me to set this down. I am going to set this down. This is whoever's, right? And you don't even have to know. But we are birthing a new identity and individually into a new reality. And this is going to take April and some of May to kind of acclimate. Because for a lot of people, April is still going to be that cocoon stage when they may be birthing their reality in themselves at the end of April, beginning of May, and some are going through the birthing process right now. So, this is a really big month for things like clarity, like having that aha moment, especially once you ground the frequencies and you start to get a little bit more of your energy back. It's going to be like, oh my God, you're going to have immense clarity. There's a lot of deceit that's clearing. And when I mean deceit, it means the things that you have hidden from yourself, that you've been in denial for, that you couldn't access before. Like for me, I did a couple of sessions, which I'll be sharing about on my podcast coming soon, Cosmic Blonde, that helped me, 2 4-hour sessions that really helped me to move and clear a lot of things at one time. So things that I didn't even realize that was still bothering me or I was still holding on to showed up, and it kind of surprised me. And so there's going to be a lot of that clearing. There's going to be a lot of collective deceit clearing. Like that's going to be a theme that we'll see for years to come. Obviously transparency, things being brought into the light. And just a reminder, in case you forgot, that everything that we're seeing, all the what we would call dark or negative, all of the deceit and manipulation and control, that's been here the whole time. The more light that comes into the planet, the more we see. So I use the guides use the analogy of the dimmer switch. You can think that you have seen it all and cleared it all and cleaned it up, and then you hit that dimmer switch and that light goes up just a little bit more. And you're like, where did all this dirt come from? I just cleaned this. And that's what it means. The more light that comes on the planet, the more we see things that were already there that we could not see before. So there's going to be a lot more of that clearing. There's going to be a lot of awakening happening, right? So each of us, we don't awaken one time. We have multiple layers and levels of awakening, and all an awakening is a expansion of self, self-awareness, becoming more aware of self. And as we do, we're going to clear more things that we didn't know were there. So there's going to be a lot of clearing on a quote unquote darkness or deceit, control, manipulation, self-sabotage, denial. A lot of that's going to be clear. There's going to be a lot of spontaneous awakenings. There's going to be a lot of people really shocked and, having those aha moments. And through all of this, though, there's still going to be chaos. There's still going to be chaos, disruption, because again, not everybody is right in that phase of birthing. And the chaos will kind of be a theme that runs throughout the entire year. But it's about us finding our stability, our certainty, our safety, our power, and being able to stand strong and neutral in the chaos, not being disrupted, making peace with uncertainty, having more self acceptance. Remember, the theme of the whole year is forgiveness. So, self forgiveness, forgiving others, stepping into our power. And this is another big theme that's going to be showing up this month is the sacral chakra and solar plexus. So the sacral is really going to be about that spark of energy returning and us becoming more creative and utilizing more of our energy and more of our pain and our resources to create, right? We're birthing a new world, we're birthing new realities, new identities. So what do we want to create? Who do we want to be? What no longer resonates? What do we resonate with? And it's really shifting your energy, right? It's really learning to shift and become that in which you seek. But we have to do it in a more creative manner. And I feel like in life in general, we're just going to have to start using more of that creative muscle. And a big reason for that is The guides say that we really have to start making decisions based upon the desire that we have, what we want to see. Sorry, that I literally saw guides next to me and it caught me off guard. Sometimes they show up in almost like an apparition form. And so I caught them out of the corner of my eye and it just threw me out for a second. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, okay, thank you. Um, it's really about us making decisions and forming opinions and choosing how to move forward, anything, right? Based upon the reality that we want to have, not based on what is already in form. Okay. So they're saying I can say that better. Um, okay. If your external current reality is not something in which you align to, maybe you have a lot of lack right now, lack of money, lack of love, lack of stability, lack of safety. Maybe there's just a lot of chaos. Maybe there's just a lot of things that aren't going right, right? And so you're looking at your life and you're like, this isn't what I want. That reality was made manifest based upon past accepted beliefs. But in that moment, whatever's coming up for you, whatever you're thinking or feeling based upon what you are seeing, you're not, what they're wanting you to do is to respond based upon the person that you want to be, the version of you that already has all the things, instead of reacting to what is in form. Because again, what's in form is based upon past accepted beliefs. So if you don't have any money and you start stressing out and you have to make a decision, you have to say, what decision would I make if I was in a good financial place? And what this does is this keeps you aligned to the reality that you want to create instead of reinforcing a reality that you don't want anymore. So in a way, it's kind of delusional, right? I call it delulu. That's how I say it. I say I have to start living and making decisions from my delulu, from a delusional place. But that has worked for me. It has paid off. I talked about it in my course Recalibration Experience, which you can find obviously linked under my courses. But um, I manifested everything I wanted in a very short amount of time by being delusional and in a very grounded human way. It's not in a woo-woo crazy way. It was in a very grounded, real way. And I was able to showcase that to people and teach them how to do it. And so I want you to know that it is possible. So whatever you're going through right now, whatever in your life does not look good or feels bad, I want you to make decisions from the energy of if I already had everything I wanted, what decision would I make? What would my decision be right now? And follow that. It doesn't always make logical sense. And sometimes you can feel irresponsible, but just know that's part of the process because you're reprogramming this supercomputer that is inside of you. It doesn't want to run the show. It wants you to surrender. It wants you to go through divine flow. It does not want to be this negative Nelly trying to keep you safe, but it was developed to keep us safe, right? There's a version of us that is using this human suit and this computer suit to stay safe and animals because we live in caves or we live outdoors. So we have to remember that this was created from a very, oh my God, they're showing it to me and I can't see it, reptilian way, right? Because we are part reptilian and it's meant to keep us safe. And so nowadays, safety is now construed in I don't have enough money or I don't have a partner or whatever the case may be. So anyway, that's a lot of the solar plexus energy. That's a lot of the energy that's wanting us to step into our power and to say, no, I know the truth. I know who I am. I know I'm worthy. I know I'm infinite. I know I'm a multidimensional being. I know that there really are no limits. I know that a belief can be a limit to me. And I don't have to follow the societal beliefs of the matrix program that was created for this collective gain. I can live separate from that. I can move beyond what the mind thinks is possible. And you don't have to know how, you just have to believe it's possible. So there's going to be a lot of us coming back to our power and really finding that spark within us and remembering that we are infinite beings and really changing the way that we see ourselves and see the game. And again, the sacral is the continued clearing of a lot of the ancestral line and programming, which is part of what I was talking about when I said what you carry that is heavy is not yours. It does get passed down into your lineage, and then it gets in your childhood, events take place that kind of bring those things to life and further imprint them into your reality. And so a lot of that's being cleared as well, just to really open up our divine sight, and really connect us back into our truth and allow us to use our energy in the way that it was designed to. So the first 2 weeks of April are still going to feel a little heavy, a little chaotic, but it will every day. I feel like it's going to get lighter and lighter. We are in two retrogrades. I'm not an astrologer, so please check in with your astrologer if you want to know details. But I work with the planets, and I know enough to get me in trouble sometimes with astrology. But and I don't know about anybody else, but Mercury has been in the microwave a little too long and has been very disruptive this time in my technology. And so, you know, I'm ready for Mercury to move forward again. So we do have that, but it will also have a shadow period. So it'll be a little bit slow. And Venus is going to go direct. And this is a big deal because I don't know about you, but Venus in retrograde has really had an effect on my relationships in my life. It's really brought a lot of old people back in. It's brought up a lot of old patterns, as just as much as the eclipses did. And so I'm still trying to integrate from all of that. I'm kind of in a eclipse hangover period myself. And so these two planets moving forward and everything moving direct in April will be super helpful. It is, this is really the true new year. We're truly coming alive. We're starting to regain our energy, and things are starting to develop again, and we're going to start moving forward. And so as we get towards the end of April, later in the mid part, not exactly mid-April, but a little towards past that, maybe week 3, we will start to feel a shift in our energy. And again, everybody's going to be a little bit different on how their body feels because this is a very individual process. But April overall feels fantastic compared to March. Fantastic. And so I don't want to overdo it. I think my March update was a little long because I'm going to come forward and give more updates as we go throughout the month. The other thing that I want to talk about with April is I feel like this is a positive shift in abundance, in career shifts. And this is a part of the identity, right? But I feel like there is going to be a shift in people's um, abundance, like a positive shift where people are going to start to reap the rewards, if you will, of all the hard work that they've been doing and giving into their careers, into their businesses. And same with love. I feel like that this is just going to be an open and receive type of energy, especially once we get through the middle of the month. I feel like once we get over that hump, I feel like we're going to feel that flow coming back. But again, I've talked about this all year, and, this really is the year that so many will awaken, but the ones that have already been awakened are really going to feel the call to step into their mission work, to be of service to humanity in whichever way that that works or looks for you. It's not specific to necessarily what I do. Um, and so the rise of the light worker is a real thing. It's a real thing that's going to continue. And those of us that have been holding the light for quite some time now, I feel like we're going to start to reap some of those rewards of all the dedication that we've put in to holding the light and being of service and doing that, which sometimes is a thankless job and sometimes isn't always financially abundant. And so I think that there's going to be a big shift in that, that is going to be very, what's the word? People are going to be welcoming it. Let's just put it that way. So But with that, there is going to be, like I said, that continuum of that those people who feel that urge to shift their career, again, shift their identity. And so April and May are really going to be months where you're going to see a lot of people make really drastic shifts and changes in their life. And if you're someone who's going through that, that can sometimes feel a bit chaotic. It can feel a bit confusing. And even if you're not, if you're just someone who's in the midst of that shift into the new earth frequencies, when you let go and you jump off the cliff of who you once were and everything that you knew to be true, and you decide that I'm going to be this other person and I want this other life, there's a big ravine between those things, and you are mid jump. And anytime you're mid jump, it's confusing. You feel like you don't know what's right, left, up, down. You can sometimes feel disconnected. And so you just have to trust that process that you're in the flow and continue to surrender and continue to let go. And again, if you're somebody who's feeling exhausted, sick, or apathetic, like just real no desire, no real motivation, you are in the shift from whatever frequency you are in into the new earth frequencies. And you just have to continue to let go and surrender and set everything down that's not meant for you to carry. And so I might sound like a little bit of a broken record, but I have so many people that come to me in my inbox or comment on my videos who ask about these things. And so I'm just going to continue to talk about them until I no longer feel guided to. Um, but April is an interesting month because it also feels like it feels like revolution. And yes, I talked about this a little bit, with we have Neptune that just moved into Aries, and the last time that happened was when we had the revolution. And that was a very big thing. But we also have Saturn moving into Aries, which hasn't been there in a long time either. So we are literally an unprecedented energy that we have no basis on other than looking at the past. And what can we learn from the past? And how can we apply that in today's world so that we don't have to repeat the same thing? And I think there's a lot of powers that be that really want us to be divided and against each other. And so, hear me when I say, because the guides are really clear on this, really take a step back from the mainstream media if you're somebody who watches it, and take what you see with a grain of salt, because everything that's happening is a part of a plan that's meant to deconstruct the corruptness so that we can build something that is beautiful and for the people the way that it was meant to be. And so the way that that plays out, there's a lot of ways that that plays out, right? Um, but we don't want you to step into fear. We don't want you to buy into the fear narratives. And there's going to be a lot of things that come out that are going to be distractions, or that are going to want to distract you from the truth of what's happening or to get you into those fear frequencies. And we don't want that to be the case for you. So this is us telling you that yes, we are in revolution energy, but that also comes with the inner revolution. And when you have an inner revolution, this is another reason why we say there's going to be chaos this month, is because when you're in a revolution, it's things are chaotic. A lot of things are happening. Things are breaking down in your life. People may be leaving. You may be making shifts and changes. You may be just feeling the shifts and changes, but it's happening to evolve you. But so we're having this outer revolution energy really kicking off, where people are really going to start to want to be vocal, and people are really going to want to start to take their power back. And again, that solar plexus energy. And so we may see that, and people may misread that energy and feel like they need to be an activist or whatever, and, let them walk their path. But for you, allow there to be an inner revolution, because your contribution to the world is for you to be the change. You don't like what you see in the world, look in the mirror and say, how can I be a walking example of what I want to see in this world? And then do that. If everybody did that, this world would be a very different place overnight. So this feels like warrior energy. It feels like revolution energy, but it also feels like, okay, we're going to get a grip. We're going to ground these energies. We're going to take our power back. We're going to get creative. We are going to think outside the box. We're going to focus on what it is that we want to create. We're going to focus on what it is that we want to feel. And we're not going to allow what we see that's already been manifested into form to control us or to affect us, to stress us out, to make us emotional, to make us reactionary. We're going to see that and go, okay, what did I believe or have to believe to create this? And I created this. So why did I create it? How was it serving me? And then go, okay, well, if everything was the way I wanted it to be and I had the things that I wanted and I was the version of me that I wanted, how would I respond to this? How would my reaction be? So these are the kind of things that we want to kind of seed and plant within you so that you are armed with the wisdom and the tools to really make the most out of April. And so that's pretty much the overall energy in a nutshell. I know it feels very short for me. I don't know how long I've been recording, but it feels very short for me anyway. But they're saying that this is complete, that we will be back throughout the month and give tidbits here and there. But we do kind of want to keep it short and sweet. I do want to put out there that I do have 2 new 6-month private mentorship, 2 6-month and 2 3-month private mentorship spots have now opened. I have 2 clients that are just on the last visits that are about to phase out. And so this is a really good time if you're wanting to step into your authentic self, if you're wanting to explore your spiritual gifts, fine tune your energetic boundaries, fine tune your intuition, if you're really wanting to work through your limits and align to the version of you that you really want to be in this world. If you really want to become the best version of you, the most solid, safe, certain version of you, then please reach out to me. There'll be a link in my bio. You can go down to private mentorship. You can read about it. You can read how much it costs, and then you can book a free consultation and see if we're a good fit or a good match. So just know that. Also, I also did bring back my $99 first time client rate. So if you've never had a session with me and you'd like a 60-minute quantum soul session, please know that there is a first-time client rate. I like to do that. I took it away for a while, and then I was like, I really want to bring that back because it really opens the door for people that were on the fence. And a lot of those people have become private mentor students. It's crazy. But no matter what, your job is to listen to your body this month. Listen to your body, what it needs. If it needs more rest, don't push through. If it needs to fast, fast. If it needs to eat, eat. If you need to meditate, if you need to lessen your days and your workload, do it. Don't be judgmental to yourself. Don't hold yourself to an unrealistic standard. Don't overburden yourself at this time. Our human vessels and our consciousness in itself is going through an evolution that we have never experienced before. This is such a crazy, massive thing that we are moving through. And so grace, self-acceptance are going to be your keys right now. Okay. I love you so much. Thank you for being here and listening. Many blessings, and we will see you in the next video.